Known as Tupac Amaru Shakur, Tupac Machiavelli, or Pac, was an iconic American rapper, actor, and social activist. He stands as one of the best-selling music artists worldwide and is considered one of the most influential rap artists ever. But how did he get here? Let's start from the beginning. On June 16, 1971, Tupac was born. He was born on the East Harlem section of Manhattan in the state of New York. His parents got the inspiration for his name from a Peruvian revolutionary, Tupac Amaru II. Before Tupac was a teenager, he was already showing his love for acting. At the age of 12, he enrolled in Harlem's 127th Ensemble, where he was chosen to play the role of Travis Younger in the play A Rising in the Sun. In the 1980s, at the age of 15, he faced a lot of difficulties and instability, including his mother's struggles with drugs and his stepfather's involvement with the FBI. They relocated to Baltimore in 1984, where he attended various schools before enrolling in the Baltimore School for the Arts. There he immersed himself in acting, poetry, jazz, and even ballet. Despite the unconventional choice, he excelled, even performing in Shakespeare plays and the Nutcracker Ballet. Some teachers claim Tupac incorporated rap elements into his performances. Despite rap being relatively new at the time, he seemed to have a natural affinity for it. Recognizing his potential, his teachers foresaw a bright future for him. Tupac formed strong friendships at school, including with future actress Jada Pinkett. Interestingly, there's a video of them dancing to a Will Smith song, a funny foreshadowing considering Pinkett would later marry Will Smith. He also showcased his rap skills, winning contests with his friend Dana Smith, who provided beatboxing. Known for his humor and affability, he got along well with everyone. Tupac didn't graduate because his mother sent him to live with relatives in California, where he attended Tamalpais High School. In 1989, he began taking poetry classes with Layla Steinberg. Steinberg organised a concert for him and his former group, Strictly Dope, which led to him being signed and connected with the rap group Digital Underground. In 1990, he joined as a backup dancer and roadie. A roadie is a person who helps set up and organise equipment for musicians before and after concerts. Now, with Tupac being 19 years old and most of his past told, let's get to the part where he broke through. So besides being a backup dancer and doing tedious tasks for Digital Underground, he would sometimes be given the mic. That's where his talent really came forward. He was even featured in one of their songs called Same Song, which would be the official start of his music career. During this time, he also filed a lawsuit against the Oakland Police Department, which I won't get into too much, but he claimed he was beaten up by the police for jaywalking. He started a civil suit seeking $10 million against the Oakland Police Department. The suit was settled for a reported $42,000. People that were around him during this period would often say that he was a very energetic kid ready to make a change. And he made sure to show that to everyone by releasing his first ever solo album, which is called Tupacalypse Now. His first ever album didn't do too well, but that didn't bother him at all. He eventually did gain some traction for his album and even landing some small shows. But one of the singles on the album would actually stand out, which was Brenda's Got a Baby. Shakur wrote the song after reading a story in the newspaper of a 12-year-old girl getting pregnant and trying to dispose of the baby in a trash can. Rapping about such important issues back then was far more gangster than anything else. On February 16, 1993, Tupac released his second album, Strictly For My. This album saw much more success than the rapper's first album and helped Tupac into the mainstream. The album came at number 24 on the Billboard 200 albums chart. Even getting onto the Billboard 200 was a big deal, so this was a big step for Tupac's music career. But with ups comes downs, and for Tupac this came very soon. On Halloween 1993, Tupac saw two drunk, off-duty cops harassing a black driver in Atlanta. When one cop pulled a gun, Tupac shot him in self-defense, injuring both officers. The charges against Tupac were dropped after it was revealed the cops had stolen guns and lied about the incident. Another fact about this incident is that the cops' lies and misconduct were significant enough that one of the cops resigned from the police force 6 months after the shooting. A woman accused Tupac Shakur of rape, leading to a court case. Shakur claimed he fell asleep after she arrived, and she later accused him of raping her when he woke up. This eventually went to court and we'll come back to him later. If this actually ever happened was never confirmed. Tupac formed a group called Thug Life in 1993. The group included several of the rapper's friends. It included Big Syke, Makadoshis, Mopreme Shakur, and Rated R. On September 26, 1994, the group released Thug Life Volume 1. This would be the first and only album released by Thug Life. This album featured the popular single Pour Out a Little Liquor. Sadly, after that, Tupac got into even more trouble. Tupac was robbed and shot 5 times. The incident occurred in the lobby of Quad Recording Studios in Manhattan. The shooting was carried out by 2 armed men. Tupac later blamed Sean Combs, Andre Harrell, and Biggie Smalls for the shooting. There's actually no real evidence to support this claim. However, this event started the infamous Tupac-Biggie rivalry, which is a whole story of its own. After spending 3 days in the hospital recovering from the gunshot wounds he received during the robbery, he was allowed to go home. Remember when I mentioned the time Tupac was facing a rape charge in 1993? Well, around 1995, he eventually began his sentence. He was sentenced to 1.5 to 4.5 years in prison. Despite being locked up, Tupac continued to release music, including releasing iconic songs like Dear Ma, So Many Tears, and California Love. While serving his sentence at Clinton Correctional Facility, he married his longtime girlfriend, Keisha Morris, on April 4th, 1995. Tupac Shakur was bailed out of prison in October 1995 after serving approximately 11 months of a 4.5-year sentence. Death Row Records CEO Suge Knight bailed him out once again and paid the $1.4 million bail for him. When Tupac was released, he released his third album, Me Against the World, on March 14th, 1995. The album sold 2 million copies. Then after that, he released the album that was the most successful for Tupac, which was All Eyes on Me. It debuted at number 1 on the charts and has sold more than 9 million copies. Releasing these two famous albums would turn Tupac into a superstar. He would be often seen with other celebs such as Mike Tyson and Snoop Dogg. He was pretty much on top of the world around this time. Tupac and Mike Tyson actually had plans to start a community center for children.
Weren't you going to maybe start a community center with Mike Tyson?
I am.
Is that progressing?
Well, what I'm trying to do now is have this program where I'm gonna have like a rap league. For like me, Tupac have his own football team, and Coolio have a football team, and Tretch have a football team. We all sponsor the team.
Made up of kids in neighborhoods?
Right.
On the 15th of August 1996, Tupac releases the album The Don Killuminati, The 7-Day Theory. This would be his very last album ever released. It's the evening of September 7th, 1996. Tupac Shakur and his friends attended the Bruce Seldon versus Mike Tyson boxing match at the MGM Grand Hotel. After the fight, a confrontation occurred in the MGM Grand lobby. Tupac, along with Suge Knight and their entourage, encountered Orlando Anderson, a Southside Crips gang member. Tupac and the group assaulted Anderson in the lobby. Tupac, Suge Knight, and their entourage left the MGM Grand and returned to Suge Knight's home for a brief period before heading out to a nightclub. Tupac and Suge Knight left Knight's residence to head to Club 662, a nightclub owned by Suge Knight. Tupac was scheduled to perform there. As they waited at a red light at the intersection of East Flamingo Road and Koval Lane, a white Cadillac pulled up to the passenger side of the BMW. An assailant in the Cadillac fired multiple rounds at Tupac Shakur. Tupac was hit 4 times, once in the arm, once in the thigh, and twice in the chest. One of the bullets entered his right lung. After the shooting, Suge Knight, who was grazed by a bullet fragment, made a U-turn and drove away from the scene, heading towards University Medical Center. They were stopped by bike patrol again and directed to pull over. Knight informed the police that Tupac had been shot. Emergency services arrived at the scene. Tupac was taken to the University Medical Center of Southern Nevada. He was immediately taken into surgery. Doctors removed his right lung in an attempt to save him. Tupac remained in critical condition, heavily sedated and on life support. He underwent several surgeries during this period. On September 13th, 1996, 4:03 p.m., Tupac Shakur died from his injuries. Tupac was a legend to us all and will remain in our hearts forever. He changed the industry and rap with his powerful words and unapologetic spirit. His legacy continues to inspire and influence generations. Rest in peace, Tupac.